and welcome back to Dylan and Ross Say Sports. I am your host, as always, Dylan Sanders. You can find me on Twitter at Dilly Sanders. Joining me today, as always, is Ross Jackson, who you can find on Twitter at Ross Jackson Nola. How are you doing today, Ross?
I'm good. I've been tripping out a friend of mine on Facebook. So I'll tell you the full story. A friend of mine that I went to college with posted on Twitter posted on Facebook saying something about where's the best place to get chicken tendies in the city in which she lives. And then so somebody else that we both went to college with got mad at her for saying the word tendies as opposed to tenders. And so I chimed in and I was like, hey, I say tendies all the time. I also call Brussels sprouts Brussies. And then he got super mad about it. So I filled him in on the fact that I also called dumplings dumpies and he blocked me. Which is outstanding. Outstanding. So
That is so good.
so my day's going very well because that is a part of it and that's hysterical.
Well, is that your favorite thing from your day?
Probably my favorite thing for my day so far, aside from nope, that'd be it.
All right, well, so I want to start us off with a little bit of college baseball news.
Oh, good, because I have a huge question for you about college baseball.
All right, hopefully I can answer it. But
All right.
what happened today, the NC State, right before the people were warming up, NC State had a bunch of people have to go through COVID protocol. So they were like, all right, we thought that they were just going to cancel the game all in all, Ross. But take a look at this picture. These are the difference in active rosters for this game. NC State versus
Wow.
Vanderbilt.
I think it's safe to say, Dylan, that one of those is not like the other.
Yeah. Let's see. And the score right now is 3-1. You know, a respectable outing. And the thing about it is, Vanderbilt has to beat NC State twice, so they're going to get two chances with this small little roster to get to advance to the finals.
There you go. Woof, man. Yeah, and NC State, NC State has been the story of the College World Series thus far. As the sort of Cinderella story. And so that would have been a really crappy way for them to drop a game, but
Ross, check your mic.
yeah.
Make sure. Are you using the right one?
Check. Is this
Yeah,
better?
that's the right one.
I don't know why it is my default microphone, so I don't know why default doesn't default to the default. But anyway, one of those things very much not like the other. But I'm glad that they're at least still able to play the game.
Yep. So that's it. That's my favorite thing from Twitter. It's just that absurd picture.
Yeah, that's wild. That's absolutely wild. My question for you regarding college baseball, Dylan, is who did LSU hire as their new college baseball coach?
That is Jay Johnson. I'm a big Jay Johnson guy, lifelong Jay Johnson fan over here. Definitely did not hear about him yesterday for the first time.
So what do you know about Jay Johnson?
He played at college. He was a second baseman at Shasta Community College.
Like the drink?
Shasta Community College in Redding, California, before transferring to Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego. So he played. He's a West Coast guy. He's a West Coast guy through and through. He is from Oroville, California. I don't know where that is.
Lifelong California. I don't know where Oroville is either.
But he's coached at the college he played at, San Diego, Nevada, then went to Arizona, where he brought them to the College World Series twice in 6 years. And then now is at LSU. He's known for his recruiting and his hitting coach. He's a good hitting coach, apparently.
Okay.
The funny thing is, Ross, within like 2 hours of him leaving to go to LSU, an Arizona commit who is an elite third shortstop or third baseman left Arizona to go to LSU, to commit to LSU.
Really?
So like within 2 hours, he was bringing in he brought one of the top recruits with him.
Wow. That reminds me of when they hired the new women's basketball coach, Kim Mulkey. And then like 3 people like decommitted from Baylor.
Yeah, he's apparently a really good recruiter, and if you got people leaving within an hour making that decision, I believe it.
Yeah, for real. That's a pretty good situation then. All right, so not too bad to see Vitello not be the one.
No. Obviously, everyone wanted Vitello, but I had never heard of Jay Johnson. I'm all in on Jay Johnson.
Right, like you said, you're a lifelong Jay Johnson guy.
Never would have wanted anybody else. His opening quote: "I am humbled and honored to be the head baseball coach at LSU and serve as the steward of the next generation of national champions."
Wow.
I view this as the opportunity of my lifetime, and will do everything in my power to have our team playing a brand of baseball that makes everyone at LSU, the Baton Rouge community, and the entire state of Louisiana incredibly proud. Go Tigers!
Wow, what a way to say all the right things immediately, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
He didn't also throw like a hoodat in there, as well as maybe any. He's
other... like, I love Tony Sasheries.
Right.
Raising Gaines is the best.
Just really throw
what?
It all in there.
The Saints got screwed.
Right. Oh, I love it.
Go Sha'Carri Richardson.
Right.
He threw it all at one.
I really got all that in there. That's great. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm sad for T-Bob, our good friend T-Bob Hebert, that it wasn't Tony Vitello, because I just wanted to see the ongoing T-Bob versus Tennessee fan duel. But I'm sure that there will be more opportunities when they play against each other next year.
Also in LSU news today, Ross. Aaron Nola struck out 10 straight Mets hitters today.
What is going on with the Mets, man?
Well, Ross, I actually want to ask you what's going on with the Dodgers. They gave up a no-hitter last night.
I don't want to talk about them. The who? You talking about the Padres?
Yeah.
Love me some Padres. Lifelong Padres fan over here.
Wow. Already leaving the Dodge.
Oh, I do have to ask.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of bandwagons and fan bases, do we become, now that the Golden Knights have been eliminated from the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, do we now become official Seattle Kraken fans?
Ross, I don't know what you're talking about. I've been a Seattle Kraken fan my entire life.
That's kind of what I thought. I've always been a Seattle Kraken fan too, but I thought maybe we were still doing like the Golden Knights thing in the interim. But you're right. I've been a lifelong Seattle Kraken guy, so I guess we may as well just be lifelong Seattle Kraken fans.
But you know what is going on tonight that we both love? We both no doubtedly love. We love a Game 7, Ross.
We love a Game 7.
And we got Game 7 tonight for the Islanders versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. How you feeling about that?
I'm excited about it. I mean, the New Orleans Islanders, or the New York Saints, depending upon who you're talking to, they've really bought into the whole officiating thing a bit, it seems. But they've both sort of, I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning have been exactly what we have seen them be over the past couple of seasons. But the thing is that they haven't lost consecutive postseason games in the last 2 years. So it would be a big time trend breaker to have them drop a second game in a row here for an elimination. So I don't know. I have a lot of trouble going against trends, but they also haven't had an elimination game since like 2018, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. I just saw someone mention Elsie's Plate and Pie in a tweet, Ross, and now I want to go back.
Oh, Elsie's. Shout out Elsie's.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask this opinion, Ross. I want to ask you this opinion. Mm-hmm. Is going to a good restaurant and ordering a burger a waste?
Yes. Well, unless it's a burger restaurant, right? But like if they have
like someone mentioned a list of good burger spots at Elsie's. I just tweeted this out, but I feel like going to Elsie's and ordering a burger is a waste.
Waste, absolute waste. There's much better that you can get at Elsie's too.
I feel like a burger's one of those foods that you get at a restaurant you don't like.
Yeah.
Like if I have to go to Parans to bring up the Louisiana flavor, if I have to go to Parans, I'm ordering a burger because you want to know why we mentioned Alfredo as this food.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
and I ordered Alfredo at Parans, and that also sucked.
Oh,
so
man.
I really just don't like that.
Just don't go to Parans, man. Like,
you know, the thing is, it's a very popular restaurant, and people love it for some reason. I hate it.
No, not a fan. Not a fan. Yeah, don't go to a restaurant and order. Like, if I'm going to go to a restaurant, I want to know what they like specialize in.
Like on this list of Elsie's is my favorite restaurant on this list, but I would never order a burger there. I would go if I wanted a burger, I'd go to an Atomic Burger, Burger Smith, Curbside Burgers. It's in the name.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Burger's there for you. I agree with Kyle. Huge story. The Montreal Canadiens making the finals here. We talk about a Cinderella story. They've been the real Cinderella team. We were talking about the NC State team in the college baseball World Series, but the Stanley Cup playoffs has been all about these guys here, Montreal Canadiens. It's been really cool to see.
Yeah,
and the Golden Knights or whatever,
I never really liked them.
Never really been a fan. Never really liked them at all. They always just kind of felt like it was going to always be like, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, always the groomsman, never the groom or whatever. Like, it was always felt like it was going to be that with them. So, we've been out on them for a long time, years now, centuries probably. So I don't know, but very excited for this game 7 tonight. We get basketball tonight too.
We do.
Basketball. So we get another game of Trae Young and another game of Giannis. Game 2 of the Atlanta Hawks, the Milwaukee Bucks. Which way do you see this game going this evening?
I have the Bucks evening it up.
Yeah, I think so too.
It was a close one. Second game at home.
Yeah.
You know what, Ross? I'm going to do it. There's no chance Trae Young has as good of a game tonight as he did last time.
I mean,
there's no way it happens.
There's no way. I mean, like, I think you have to expect some type of a downturn at some point. It doesn't have to be long lasting, but just like for a game. It was just like yesterday where we saw, Devin Booker only have 15 points and he was minus 15 on the floor as well. Like, they happen. And I think you'll see that from Trae Young tonight too.
Mm-hmm. With Kyle, I agree. I love this Final Four in the NBA. No obvious favorite / super team. All 4 teams have a chance to win. It is true. I love it. This is the most excited I've been for a finals champion in a while. The only team I really don't want to win is the Bucks, and that's just because I rock with James Harden and I'm anti Giannis.
That's fair.
I've been an anti Giannis guy for a while.
Yeah,
he's just not that. He's not that dude.
Not that dude.
You're not that guy,
pal.
Young could have a better game in overall theory, but I agree he won't score 70 points tonight. Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, I was kind of trying to do the reverse jinx where he does do it again. But I would love to see it. I love to see Trae Young thrive.
Big fan of Trae Young thriving over here.
And of course, Bogdan Bogdanovic only scored 4 points. You have to assume he'll do better. Gallinari only had 9 points. Lou Will only had 3 points. Solomon Hill had 4 points. You got to assume he'll do better.
Can you?
It's fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be good. We saw the Clippers get a game yesterday, so that series now between the Clippers and Suns is now the Suns leading 2-1. The Clippers held the Suns off from going up 3-0, which would have essentially been a death knell for the Clippers. Like we mentioned, they got Chris Paul back, but everything kind of evened out in that game. I mean, 15. This is pretty cool, though, the consistency amongst 4 of the starting 5. You had Devin Booker with 15, Chris Paul with 15, 18 from DeAndre Ayton, 13 from Miles Bridges. You only had 9 from Crowder. But when it came to him, he also got ejected early at one or later on at one point. And so, that take that for what you will. But then Cameron Johnson, who came in and played a little bit in his stead, ended up putting up 12 points. So you saw, kind of an overall performance, like level of performance across the Suns, but you didn't have the rising, the star performance from anybody in terms of point scorers. And Devin Booker a little bit, held in check a bit last night in that game. Now, you posed the question with the title of today's show, is Paul George good? What is your answer?
Yeah. Right? He's good. I don't know if he's a superstar, but he's good.
Yeah.
I really wanted to pose this question, Ross. If you get eliminated now in the Western Conference Finals, do you still blow it up?
Right, because it's not the same as if had they gotten eliminated after just a first round win, right? Like they got closer.
I really wanted to bring this up. Say Kawhi walks in the offseason. Do you blow it up then, or has Paul George shown you enough in the past couple games to where you're like, all right, do we really need Kawhi?
That's a tough one. I think you have to think about a full 82 game season plus the playoffs, right? As opposed to 2 playoff series or a playoff series and a half. I think Paul George is a good basketball player. I think Paul George, though, is a secondary player. That this team would still be better with a superstar or with a star that is in addition to Paul George. But do I think you give Paul George away? Not necessarily. I think that, there are teams out there that do more with less, right? I mean, you look at the Hornets and how good they were and how fun they were this year. You look at the Grizzlies. Like, there are those teams that can continue to be competitive and get into the playoffs and things like that, particularly with the Grizzlies, who are almost there, with players that aren't as good as Paul George.
Would you, Ross, if you were the Thunder right now, would you trade Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, someone whose name we've seen in the news a lot?
In the news a lot here recently. No, because I'm busy trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to the Pelicans for. No,
I'm bringing this up. Would you trade Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to get Paul George right now?
If I'm getting Paul George for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, yes. If I'm the Clippers, no.
All right. Let's talk about let's talk about the Paul George trade. Because if you remember, the Clippers gave up Danilo Gallinari, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and 5 firsts for Paul George. How different does the team look right now if they didn't do that trade? I feel like they'd be in the same situation.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just
because
about.
I got to be real, Shai is he was injured a lot of the season, but is an amazing young guard.
Yeah,
and would probably give you similar output as to what Paul George is giving you right now.
Yeah.
And then you'd also have I feel like the Clippers, I think that they run it back with Paul George. They don't try to trade him. If Kawhi walks, they try to build. But I do think that they regret the Paul George trade.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and I think you regret the Kawhi situation as a whole in terms of the amount of money that you invested in that situation and everything like that. But look, it's the NBA, right? Like you have to have these big. You have to have more than one good player. You can't be carried. You have to have something at the top there, and so. They did what they had to do to be competitive here over the last little bit. They have been competitive. Here they are in the Western Conference Finals. So I think you try to keep as much of it as you can together in terms of what's within your control. And I also think everybody's got a price too. right? Like I think if the right team offers the right package for Paul George, I don't think that the Clippers just say no for the hell of saying no. You know what I mean? I think they would still hear if they heard the right, the right offer, that they'd take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to bring this up. I just want to give a shout out to Tyler Tynes of GQ.
Mm-hmm.
The man is what?
I know I'm going to enjoy this.
The man just has the best interviews.
Yeah,
I think he has that. He's the one who did the Anthony Edwards interview that we had a blast with. He did yesterday's Scottie Pippen interview, which has taken over the sports world, and then he released today a PJ Tucker interview.
Ooh,
which is awesome, and it's great, and it made me, it reminded me why I loved PJ Tucker, but I just love Tyler's interview style.
Yeah,
and it's fun how much personality. It's hard. I feel like it's hard to deliver personality through a text interview, a written interview, but he does it so well. He talks a lot about PJ Tucker's fashion, which is one of my favorite things about PJ Tucker is how crazy of a shoe head he is. I think to the NBA bubble, he brought over 50 pairs of shoes or something like that.
Jeez.
I think it might have been a crazier number than that. It might have been around 200. He switches interviews in the middle of yes, Cal Senra. It is the interview. Is the interview the opposite of the Yankees pitcher whose name I don't know?
Garrett.
Garrett Cole. Yes,
Garrett Cole. Yes, very much the opposite of that.
But no, he talks a lot about PJ Tucker's interview, fashion and stuff like that. But I wanted to bring this up, and it's something I like. It felt kind of like a shot at the Clippers, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Clippers, if you remember, kind of felt like they were losing a little bit to avoid the Lakers.
Right. Yes.
In the first round. And this is another great thing I like about Tyler's interviewing style, and how he really truly brings the conversation to light. Would you rather have had the Hawks or the Sixers as your mat, and it cuts off, and it goes to PJ Tucker saying, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. We've said that from the beginning. Even knowing we had Brooklyn in the second round, we didn't care. We aren't ducking anybody. We're not trying to lose games to play we're not trying to lose games to play a certain team. We're not doing that. Whoever we get, we play and we go from there. That's how you got to carry it, because you have to go through everybody anyway. So you need to try and pick and choose who you're going to play. Just strap. So no need to try and pick and choose who you're going to play. Just strap up.
Wow. Like, he didn't even have to mention the idea of
losing
to play other teams, because you're only playing one team or the other, no matter what in this scenario. He had no reason to bring that up aside from to take a well-positioned and well-deserved shot at the Clippers.
Yes. But yeah, no. This is another great interview. Everyone should go look through it. What's it been like to play with Giannis? His style of basketball in the way Milwaukee plays is not something everyone can fit into seamlessly. It's him and then a bunch of shooters around him. How's it been for you to slide into these lineups? It's been easy. He's such a good player and demands so much attention. For guys like me that play their role and do their job, it's the perfect fit. His personality and even the way he is with Drew and Chris Middleton, they all really fit each other personality-wise. It's more about that to me than the court, because that part makes the court a lot easier.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah, but everyone go read this interview. It's awesome, and read everything Tyler Tynes does, because he is
for real
an extremely talented interviewer and writer.
Very good stuff. What are you looking forward to for the rest of the day today?
Just waiting for the night games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for the night games. We got the NHL and the NBA. That's really what I'm going to be paying attention to.
Yeah. We have right now bottom of the 7th in the NC State and Vanderbilt game. Bases loaded for NC State with 2 outs. Still down 3-1 at the moment, but I'm going to keep an eye on this.
And then after that, it's Texas and Mississippi State.
Ooh,
tonight. The game one of that series, Texas in the losers bracket. If they win, they play again tomorrow. If they lose, Mississippi State advances to the final.
You know what else we get tonight?
What's that?
Las Vegas Aces versus the Minnesota Lynx on Facebook.
Ooh.
At 8 p.m. Eastern time. Sorry, I was trying to do math. So we get more WNBA action tonight, too. So it's a very full weekend, which is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a really, really full weekend ahead.
And then we'll have some fun on Monday coming back.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look real quick. We had some new things that popped up over at betonline.ag that I wanted to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
It is like exact finishes for teams when it comes to their conferences. So whether they'll be in first place, second place, third place within their division, rather. So pick a division, and then we'll talk about the odds that each team ends up first, second, third, or fourth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What?
So pick a division.
Oh, pick a division. Okay, sorry. Let's do AFC East.
AFC East. All right. So in the AFC East, we have your Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the New England Patriots, and the New York Jets. So in my opinion, number one is obvious, right? Mm-hmm. Like who has the best chance to finish in first place is obvious. It's the Buffalo Bills, minus 140. But let's talk about position 2, because this is really interesting. Who would you think has the best odds to end up as second in the division?
I feel like the best odds betting wise, they probably have the Patriots, but I would go with the Dolphins.
Okay. So there are the Patriots at plus 210 and the Dolphins at plus 180.
Okay.
Very interesting. And in fact, neither of those teams, despite having the best odds to finish second in the division, outside of, you have the Bills at 190, but plus 190. But when it comes to the Dolphins and the Patriots, they're actually both favored to end up in third place is the most likely spot for both of them right now. Plus 150 for both.
You know what? I don't hate plus 180 for the Dolphins to finish in second in that division. I don't hate that.
I don't at all. Meanwhile, the Jets are minus 400 to end up in fourth.
What I really want to know, Ross, is the AFC South.
AFC South?
I feel like that.
That's
I feel
really
like
interesting.
Outside of the first one, there's no telling where that's going to be.
Right. All right. So we have two teams with the best odds to finish first place in the division. Should be no real surprise there, right? Colts, Titans. Yeah. Plus 110 for both of them. Now, this again, because there are two in first place, there's no favored team for second place. So would you have the Texans or the Jags favored for third?
Jaguars.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've got. They've got the Jaguars minus 120 for third place. The Houston Texans minus 375 for last place in the division.
I'm not touching that bet with a 18-foot pole.
Nope.
19, we're talking. 18, no thank you.
And at the moment, the odds for the Titans and the Colts are dead even. Minus 110 for first place, plus 110 for first place, plus 125 for second, plus 525 for third, plus 3,500 for fourth. Both the exact same.
Okay.
All right, one more really intriguing division to me, the NFC East. You just never know what's going to happen in that division. Two teams are favored to end up in last place in this division. One of them favored over the other. So you want to pick which two you think are favored and which one of them you think has the better odds to end up fourth place?
This is the NFC East?
So you've just in order of the way they have them listed here, you've got the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington football team.
I would have to say, ending that, it's probably the two that they have to finish in the last place would probably be the Eagles and the Giants.
That's correct. Now, which of the two of them have the better odds, the higher odds to end up in last place?
Eagles.
Okay, so you have the New York Giants at plus 170. The Philadelphia Eagles at plus 130.
Okay, close.
So pretty close. Pretty close. Interesting to me. Both the Cowboys and the Washington football team's best odds to finish in the division are in first place. So you have two that are higher considered in terms of the fourth, and then two that are higher considered in the first.
You know, Ross, I'm gonna go ahead right now. I'm gonna tell you how that division's gonna finish.
Yeah, please.
First place, Washington.
Ooh, okay.
Second place, New York.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Third place,
Uh-huh.
Dallas, and then fourth place, Philadelphia.
I was waiting for you to put Dallas all the way down at the bottom.
I think they're going to be closer to fourth place than they are going to be to first place. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Right now, Washington plus 210.
And their only win on the season is going to be against the New Orleans Saints.
Washington football team plus 210 for first place. Dallas Cowboys plus 135 for first. I'm not mad at plus 210.
I'm not mad at plus 210.
Washington football team. All right, shall we look at the NFC South to wrap up?
Yes, let's do it.
Might as well, right? All right, go ahead. Tell me how the division's going to finish up. Start from fourth place, go up to first.
Atlanta. Carolina. Tampa Bay.
So the way that BetOnline has this, they have the Falcons at plus 120 to finish in last. The Carolina Panthers at plus 100 to finish in last.
Planters, they're real big fans of peanuts.
Planters, they love some peanuts there. So then you have the New Orleans Saints plus 130 for second place. And then Tampa Bay minus 175 favorites for first place. Here's the interesting thing for me. Usually when you see these, as you're looking at these, they go in sort of like reverse numeric order. So it would be like second place is the favorite. So then their next one would be first, then third, then fourth, right? But the way that the New Orleans Saints are, they actually have it set right now to where the Saints, in terms of the four places that they can finish, their best odds are in second place in the division at plus 130. Their second best odds at plus 240 is third place. And they're a distant favorite when it comes to first place at plus 325.
You know what? I'm feeling it, Ross. You should put some money on that right now.
I'm going to do it.
Do it. Put some money on plus 320 for the Saints to finish first. Because you know what? I don't think it's that crazy of an idea. I don't think Carolina's there yet. You telling me Carolina, the secret sauce in Carolina has been a Sam Darnold all these years?
Could you imagine? Carolina, by the way, their odds to end up in first place, plus 1,000.
The Falcons, after trading Julio and drafting Kyle Pitts, the only difference that they're really going to see in that team is that Matt Ryan's another year older.
Yeah.
And they have the only real big roster shakeup they had is there. And that doesn't make it's, you know what? I'm not that, I'm not feeling it.
Not feeling it. Hey, the Vanderbilt got out of that little pickle that they had there. It's now top of the eighth, still 3-1.
Boring.
Wanted a grand slam.
All right, Ross. It was a shortened day today, but do you think we saved sports?
I think we saved
betting odds. What did we learn today, Ross?
We learned that some people can't handle true genius, Dylan. Some people can't do it. They can't handle it.
Okay.
They can't handle it.
I agree.
If I want to call dumplings dumpies, and you want to block me for that, Gregory Barra.
Oh, throwing names.
That's entirely fine. That's entirely fine. I'm not gonna pay you any mind. This is the last word. These are the last words I'm ever speaking of him.
Shunned.
Done.
Shunned.
Can't handle the genius. No, I'm just kidding. Gregory's a good dude. I'm sure we'll talk in a little bit. But I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Shortened day today, but we'll be back on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Dylan Ross Saves Sports, bring you everything you need to know, everything you want to know, and everything you don't want to know about sports, because we cover it all here at Dylan Ross Saves Sports. So I'll have more for you on Monday. Y'all have a fun and fantastic weekend. Dylan.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.